Sorry for the disappearing that, y'all. I really had some things that I had to take care of, and I couldn't take care of it and focus on doing Dose of Destiny at the same time. I think that sometimes we have to understand that life pivots and life shifts in a way that sometimes other things take precedence over others. And although I hated to have abandoned y'all, it had to be done, because if not, then I would have abandoned myself. And it's self-preservation over here, okay? It's time to pivot. It's time to step out of this performative type of reality that I think a lot of us have been conditioned to. Because I don't want to perform. Like, I just want to be myself. I just want to get on here and record this video without having to put a whole lot of words on the screen and all these effects and stuff to keep people engaged, because everybody's attention span is like a fish. Because you can't watch a video that's 10 minutes long because you're so used to watching a video that's 5 seconds. And then even 5 seconds seem too long. One thing that I learned when I was in Phoenix was presence. To be exactly where I was right then. And as much as I wanted to be out of that void that I was in when I was in Phoenix, it was very much so necessary. I loved Phoenix. I loved being out there. I met some really cool people. I met some really shitty people. I met some racist people. Racist people that were only racist towards certain black people. And my thing is, if you're racist towards certain black people, you're racist towards all black people, because I'm black, and I'm not gonna let you talk to me if you don't like this type of black person, because I'm black and they're black too. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, like, I had a great time. Like, I loved it out there. It was beautiful. I got to go to the Breezy Bowl. I got to see Domani, which is T.I.'s son. And I didn't see K-Camp, but I've seen him before. And I mean, I don't really listen to his music that much, but, you know, I realized that people are a little bit strange out there. They are. They got some weird ways of thinking, but I can appreciate it. I do miss being out there sometimes, because I loved the weather. I loved just how beautiful it was. There wasn't no trees or no grass or no rain or nothing that I'm used to, but you know, I adapted. It was very, very hot. Some days it would be 120 degrees out there, and I would just text my family and friends and be like, listen, if you see some chocolate ice cream on the sidewalk, it's me, okay? But I'm gonna get it together. I'm just out here melting because it was literally so hot out there. Oh my God, like, if I ever go back, it'll never be in the summertime. Ooh, child, I'm telling you, it's like sticking your head in the oven. But, that was that. I don't feel like I have talked to y'all about my experience out there too much. I only had dropped one vlog and maybe a video or two when I was out there. But the reason why I didn't feel called to post when I was in that void was because that void required me to be present. That void required me to build this trust in God that I never thought that I could even build, that I never even knew was possible to build. So I was out there building my trust in God. I was out there building my trust in myself. I was out there gaining more confidence in myself, gaining more confidence in who I am and how I want to show up, how I want to present myself when I come on YouTube, and how I want to present myself when I walk into a room full of people. Who do I want to be perceived as? And before I even went to Phoenix, like, I had trouble with being perceived. Like, oh my gosh, they don't like me. Why don't they like me? And I'm sitting up here worrying about stuff that's not even my business. Why do I care whether or not somebody likes me or not? Why do I care whether or not somebody watching my YouTube channel or not? It's not for the people that's not watching. It's not for the people that's perceiving. I'm not for the people that's perceiving me in a negative light. I'm just not. That's not the room that I'm supposed to be in. And the sooner that you realize that, the sooner you will be free. when you allow to be yourself to be perceived. Like, perceive me, please. I used to be like, oh my God, what are they thinking? Why do I care? Why did I ever care? I don't know. Maybe because I was conditioned to care. I was. And now that I don't care, now that I truly don't give a fuck, I am exactly who I am, unapologetically. I'm taking up space. I'm shining brighter than ever. And ever since I've made the decision to shine bright and to not dim my own light, not self-betray myself, not self-abandon myself, things have completely shifted in my life in so many different ways. Like, I can't even explain it, but you may not know what happened, but there will be signs that something happened, okay? As you can tell. But, you know, I just feel like way back when, and up until however long ago, I would automatically just dim my light because I was afraid of being perceived, and I was afraid of other people dimming it. But when you stop giving so much power away to other people, that's when things really shift for you. And this kind of reminds me of this video, the short that I posted. It was about Genesis chapter 3, when Eve ate the fruit from the tree, and she conned Adam into eating it too, which he should have been like, Eve, you know, you ain't supposed to do that. You know, that was when he was supposed to step up and lead, but that's another story for another day. She started to perceive herself right after they ate the fruit from the tree of knowledge. They had too much knowledge of self. Too much knowledge of self, it can go one way or the other. You can either use it to your own advantage, or you can let it disempower you. You can let other people disempower you by having so much knowledge of you, of who you are, so much awareness of everything that's going on around you. Like, you can either you can use it for your own good, or you can let it use you. Okay? So that's what I did. I let it use me. People being aware of me, people perceiving me. I'm like, well, dang, I might as well just be standing up here naked, because people think they know exactly who I am. And they don't. And it's so annoying. Like, coming from a small town, it's like once you present yourself one way, that's who you are, and you can never change, and no one will ever think any different about you, and that's that. And when I went to Phoenix, I said, you know what? I'm not gonna play small like I did when I was at home. I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna be in my power. I'm gonna own it. And I'm just gonna be exactly who I am, unapologetically. I'm not dimming my light for nobody. If you can't stand to see the light, close your eyes, look the other way. Because I am tired of abandoning myself and betraying myself just to make other people who feel small feel bigger. Because what about me? Why can't I feel big? Why can't I feel like I deserve to be in this space too? You know what I'm saying? So if you're one of those ones that feel like that, then get out of your hometown, move away, do something. Get away from everybody that you've always known, and really like go in on yourself and go into a void of just you. It's just you and God, and maybe your mom and your daddy. Because it was just me, God, and my mama most days. Like, I would call to my mom, or I would call my mom and tell her how blessed I feel. And it would just be like, all the things, like, even when I was feeling sad, I would call her, or like feeling homesick, I would call her and tell her, you know, this is still such a blessing that I get to have this opportunity to explore the world and to explore what it is that I want to do. I learned so much about myself, what I wanted, what I didn't want, what I want to do in the world, how I want to show up in the world. And I've been doing just that. And all praises go to God, because without God, like, my trust and my relationship with him shifted so much. It got so much deeper when I was out there, and I just carried all of that back with me. Like, most people might think, oh, she went to Phoenix and came back, oh, she failed. I didn't fail. Let's get that straight. You can perceive it as that, but you never had that experience. So did you fail too? You never had that opportunity. But I did, and I did something with it. And although I didn't stay in Phoenix because that's not where I was supposed to be, that's not the place for me. Like, I see that. But it was a place for me to grow. It was a place for me to shift. It was a place for me to become. And it was a place for me to deepen my relationship with God. I was near so many different vortexes in the earth that has so much energy that I can't even explain. I just really can't even explain it. You just kind of have to experience it. But being out there in the desert, my whole entire story reminded me of The Alchemist. Mind you, I had the book The Alchemist for at least 2 years before I read it. But I read it when I was out there. And it was, if you never read The Alchemist, like, you need to read it. Read it when you're in the void. Read it when you can relate to the story, because the story was insane. So basically, he went in search of a treasure, met a lot of people, and then when he got to the treasure, the man was like, oh, well, I don't want to tell y'all the ending because it's so crazy, but just know that sometimes you do have to go and see the scenery just to come back and understand that what you needed was already right where you were. You never had to go out and find it. It was always right at your fingertips. But because you were too blinded by the familiar to be able to see those things, you had to get acquainted with the unfamiliar so that when you come back to the familiar, you can appreciate it a little bit more and actually see the beauty in it. Honey, I hear somebody talking out there. But so you can actually see the beauty in what it is that you already have at the root. So really what all I did was rip up my roots, and now I'm placing them again. And this time my harvest is going to be even better. Think before you go and you try to judge other people for their harvest. Let me just say this as a side note. Before you go and you try to judge other people for the harvest that you think that they're supposed to have, take a look at your harvest. Can you eat the fruit from the tree that you grew? I bet not. Is your fruit edible or is it rotten? What I'm trying to say is, before you go and you think that somebody else is supposed to bear this kind of fruit from their tree, look at your tree and see what kind of fruit you're bearing. Because when we get to worrying about other people and what we think they should have based off of what we think, just because of what they're doing, what we think they're supposed to have based off of that, you got the wrong idea. And you really focus too much on somebody else's harvest. Okay? And it's so crazy because sometimes we be so focused on someone else's harvest and what they have and wishing that we had it when we don't even know where it came from. Did it even come from God? Imagine being jealous of somebody's harvest, but it didn't even come from God. And if nothing came from God, it shall not sustain. You can sit here and be jealous of somebody all day. They might have what they have for a lifetime or two. But if it's not from God, it will perish. It won't sustain. And I'm trying to bear fruit that will sustain for lifetimes on top of lifetimes on top of lifetimes. That will never perish. And that's why it's taking me a little bit longer. Some people are late bloomers. Some people, they have their glow up in high school and then they fall off. Some people have their glow up when they're about 21 and then they sustain. And some people have their glow up at 30 and they fall off. Some people have their glow up at 40 and then sustain. You just don't know what the plan is for somebody's life for you to be judging it, for you to be feeling like you know what a person deserves, or where a person should be or what a person should have. It's not your business, okay? And I'm not saying that this is happening to me. I mean, I have heard some things, but I'm not worried about those people because let me tell you, misery loves company. And as long as someone's miserable, they will be so glad for you to join them. It don't matter how you do it, when you do it, where you do it, as long as you're joining them. And if you can't, and sometimes we get so defeated, we be like, well, if you can't beat them, join them. Well, I'm not joining nobody's misery because I can beat them. Okay, I might fail 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, but the 4th time we gonna beat them. We never joining them though. Okay, and that's just a side note. And I know that I went on a bit of a tangent there, but that just needed to be said. But moral of the story is, don't be afraid to make changes in your life. Don't be afraid to pivot. Don't be afraid to be seen. Don't be afraid to be perceived. Don't be afraid to fail or what you or anyone else perceive as failure. Don't be afraid of that happening because that's going to open your eyes and it's going to teach you what not to do the second time. You never know what to do unless you do it. You have to get out there and just do it. And then once you do it, you're like, okay, so this didn't work this time. Let me pivot. Brands pivot all the time. Think of how many times Coca-Cola, Sprite, Pepsi, all of those people, Pizza Hut, all of these brands that have changed the boxing and changed the name kind of, or, like how Chick-fil-A changed. They're trying to say that it was always a K on Chick-fil-A, but it was not always a K. It was definitely Chic-fil-A, okay? So let's understand that and amend that a little bit. But brands shift all the time. So why do we think that we can't do the same thing? Why do we feel like we have to stay the same just because we're around people who are staying the same? But that's why it's important to get yourself away from those people so that you can change, so that you can see who you want to become, so that you can pivot, so that you don't have to worry about dimming your light around people who can't stand the brightness of it. Put some shades on then, because I'm not dimming no more. And it was difficult going back to certain places and being around certain people again because I didn't feel like I could be me. I didn't feel like I could shine bright because I was always so used to dimming myself to appease. So it was weird being around certain places and, doing certain things, being with certain people and stuff because it didn't feel like it was like I related to that anymore or to the version of me that used to tolerate those things anymore. And I know it can be hard to do away with certain people, do away with certain things that you used to do, be around people that you always used to be around and all the things. But I'm telling y'all, when you say yes to the shift, when you say yes to the shift, you say yes to the next version of yourself. When you're obedient, you're saying yes. When you're I think that might be the trash people. When you're obedient, you're saying yes. You're saying yes to the next step. You're saying yes to the next version of yourself. You're saying yes to who God wants you to become. And we just can't let the distractions get in the way of what we already know and what we already know to be true and what we already know is promised to us. So with all that being said, honey, subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave me a comment if you feel called to, and let me know your opinion, because I really would love to hear your opinion, although I'm not going to let it sway my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to show your opinion and to be perceived and to perceive things, but when you're trying to make it, my way or the highway, that's when it get toxic. But when we just sharing just to share, I think that that's beautiful. So I would love to create community around that. And I'm still trying to figure out how Dust of Destiny is pivoting and how things are how I'm planning on showing up when it comes down to this platform, and to all platforms really. But I just pray that y'all bear with me, and I'm thankful for the ones that still stayed subscribed and have still been watching my videos. Let me know if there's anything that you want to see specifically that you want me to touch on, and I would love to do that, because this channel is for y'all. Although it was about me in the past, because it was for my healing, it was for my deep healing, it was for me to really see myself and to see my heart, which is what I feel like Phoenix did for me as well. I feel like it showed me and showed me where I needed to shift and showed me where I needed to grow. I'm doing the same thing with Dust of Destiny and with all of my other platforms. So follow me on Instagram, and you'll be able to see more stuff there. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.